My toxic ex-friend kicks me out of a club we shared together by claiming that I was being problematic despite the fact that I didn't do anything. But now, after they realize my absence is seriously ruining their club, they're demanding that I come back and help them in the same way as when I was a full-fledged member, screaming that it's not fair that all the benefits I brought to the club are gone all because I got kicked out. Because right now, I am incredibly frustrated. Here's what happened. Okay, for a bit of background, I'm a 21-year-old male, and I've been a part of my university's music club for a little more than a year up until this September. I first auditioned as a guitarist, and I got in around September of 2023. And because of the connections I've made in the music scene here, since I've been involved in the music industry since I was about 14 years old, I help provide certain things for free that weren't available to the club before. Stuff like sound engineers, studio time, access to certain events, etc. And I agreed to do this with the board at the time, and decided to keep my involvement on the low as it would undermine the board a bit, and it might cause some kind of problems. Well, the issue started when a new board member was elected this semester, and it just so happens that the new president is someone that belongs to the same friend group within the club, which ended up breaking up and we fell into two different sides. We will be calling her Emma to make things easier. As soon as Emma got elected, she decided to kick us out for being problematic, and that was that. At first, I thought about cutting them off right after I was out, but some of my friends were still part of the club and already had performances planned, and I didn't want to ruin it for them. So I waited until the first event was done around late October, and I talked to my contacts, and I told them that I would no longer be working with that club, and I thanked them for all the help. Well, about a week after that, I got a call from the old president who told me that Emma called her and asked for her to talk to the sound engineers as they didn't want to talk to them anymore, and they aren't interested in working with them. And that's when she told them about our deal. Well, sure enough, I got an email that afternoon saying that I'm invited to a meeting with the board to discuss club activities that I've been involved in for the past year. To not go into what ended up being a 2-hour meeting, they basically asked me for help and said that they can't keep the club running without it, as it would cost them a lot of money that they don't have, and they also said that they are willing to have me back, but I straight up said no. The following week, word got out, and I was bombarded with messages from members of the club telling me that it's not fair for me to punish them for what the board members did to me. My friends that were still in the club and the ones that were kicked out with me are all on my side, though I can feel that some of them are disappointed that they won't be able to perform anymore. I do believe that since I'm not in the club anymore, I don't have to provide any help to them. But hearing the members' reaction and seeing my friends react that way as well makes me feel like maybe I'm the jerk here. So truly, am I the jerk for not wanting to help out any longer? Because right now, I really don't know what to do. Wow, this is incredible because seriously, the audacity of these people to ask for your help after they literally kicked you out of their club is unbelievable. Like, for starters, it really seems like you got kicked out for dumb reasons. Like, they're just sitting there like, oh yeah, you're being problematic, so you have to go. And then they try to act like, well, we need your help in getting this off the ground, otherwise people can't perform. And it's like, I'm sorry, don't expect anything out of me when you kick me out of your club. Like, the original poster clearly brought in a lot of connections to this club, and it allowed people to actually have a chance to perform and do all kinds of stuff. So for them to kick you out and then guilt trip you into making sure your contacts still help them out, like, that is so selfish and entitled, it's not even funny. So no, you're definitely not the jerk. Emma and the rest of her stupid friends are complete morons, and the fact that they would even ask you for help after the way they completely screwed you over, in my opinion, says a lot about them. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. Am I the jerk for yelling at my sister after she put her phone on Do Not Disturb and left her first grader at school without picking him up? Because right now I am very upset with her, and at this point I really don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, so today at 4:00 p.m., my nephew's elementary school called me. He's 7 years old and in the first grade. Apparently, he had been left at school for about 40 minutes after dismissal, and the office said they couldn't reach anyone on his emergency contact list. They then asked me if I could get in touch with his parents, namely my sister and her husband. I tried calling both of them, but their phones were on Do Not Disturb. The calls would ring once and go straight to voicemail, which was odd because their phones should usually ring a few times before going to voicemail. Since neither of them was rechargeable, I got concerned and decided to go pick up my nephew myself. While I was on my way there, I kept trying to call my sister. She finally called me back about 90 minutes after when the school first tried to reach her, and she was saying that her and her husband had just been napping. And when she said this, I was furious. It felt incredibly irresponsible for them to leave their child stranded at school and silence their phones, especially as parents of a young child and a toddler. Her excuse was that her husband husband had asked her grandparents to pick up my nephew, but there was a miscommunication. I told her that even if that was the plan, she shouldn't have put her phone on Do Not Disturb because emergencies like this can still happen. Well, her response really shocked me. She said she likes putting her phone on Do Not Disturb during naps, and if I was going to react this way, she would remove me from my nephew's emergency contact list. She also added that I was the last contact on the list anyways, because her in-laws, namely the grandparents, were listed first. She then accused me of overreacting, saying that normal people wouldn't get angry about something like this. She even mentioned that she's made a lot of new friends this year and now understands how normal people act. Now, I found this insulting because I was the only one responsible enough to answer the school's call and make sure her child was safe. She continued justifying herself, saying it's normal not to answer their phones if they're busy at work or in meetings. But she insisted that having her phone on Do Not Disturb was necessary because she takes naps with a toddler and she needs complete silence. By the end of the conversation, she tried to make me feel like I was in the wrong for being upset. She said I had a right to be concerned, but no right to be angry or yell at her. She then added that she doesn't like spending time with family because there's always an argument when she talks to us. And this left me completely baffled. Instead of showing any gratitude for my help, she threw backhanded insults at me, even though I was the one who ensured her child's safety. Her reaction made me question whether I was wrong to be upset, but I still feel her behavior was irresponsible and ungrateful. So am I the jerk for making sure her kid was picked up from school? Because right now I really don't know what to do. Oh man, if this was my sister, I would be furious with her right now. You mean to tell me she would rather take a nap than actually pick her kid up from school? Like, what is going on right now? Not to mention the fact that she put it on Do Not Disturb. Like, that is so irresponsible, it's not even funny. So no, you're not the jerk for yelling at your sister, because if I was in your shoes, I would do the exact same thing. Am I the jerk for refusing to make Starbucks drinks for my family on Thanksgiving after my mom announced in the middle of our dinner that I would make a bunch of desserts for all of my family members? Because after I said no, she got really upset, claiming that I embarrassed her after she went out of her way to buy all these supplies. And now I don't know what to do and I feel incredibly frustrated. Here's what happened. Okay, so I'm a 28-year-old female and I worked at Starbucks for a little over 2 years. And ever since then, my family has loved asking me to recreate their favorite drinks at home. I don't mind doing it once in a while, but it's not exactly my favorite thing, especially because I don't have all the equipment or supplies that Starbucks has. This Thanksgiving, my mom hosted dinner and invited a bunch of extended family. After we finished eating, she casually announced, "Okay everyone, my daughter will be making Starbucks drinks for dessert." And when she said this, I was completely blindsided. Apparently, she had bought a bunch of syrups, a bunch of whipped cream, and even a little espresso machine just for this. When I said I didn't really feel like making drinks for 15 people, my mom got super annoyed. She said to me, "It's not that hard for you. You used to do this all the time at work." A few of my cousins then started chiming in too, saying it would be fun and they would help out. But I didn't come to Thanksgiving to play barista for the entire family, so I decided to stand my ground. Well, my mom is now upset, saying I embarrassed her after she went out of her way to buy all the supplies. Some of my family thinks I was being selfish and that it wouldn't have taken that long, but I just wanted to enjoy the holiday and not work for it. So am I the jerk in this situation? What should I do? Okay, seriously, I don't think you're the jerk at all. If your mom really wanted you to do this, then she really should have asked you ahead of time. The fact that she dropped this on you in front of everybody not only put you in a weird spot, but it also forced you into a lose-lose situation. If you give in and do this for everybody, then guess what? You had to be the barista for Thanksgiving. And clearly this is not something you want to do. But also, if you choose not to do it, then your mom's gonna freak out in the way that she did. And she's gonna be like, "Wow, you embarrassed me." But seriously, I think it's the other way around. I think she embarrassed you and put you on the spot, when all she had to do was ask you ahead of time, and I'm sure you could have figured something out. Because I know for me, I would much rather be prepared for something like that than to have it dropped on me last second and have everyone be like, "Oh yeah, you can do it. Let's make all these desserts for all of us." So no, you're definitely not the jerk, because I think the way that your mom treated you is incredibly unfair. Am I the jerk for refusing to invite my fiance's childhood friend after we found out that she's been actively talking garbage about my marriage, claiming that I'm ugly, that my husband can do better than me, while also accusing me of cheating? Because right now I feel very hurt and I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. So I recently got engaged to my fiance, who we will call Matt, and we are in the process of planning our wedding. When the topic of the guest list came up, I told him that I would not be okay with inviting his friend, who we will call Melissa. Now, to give some backstory, Melissa's family and my fiance's family have been super close since they were toddlers. And although I might sound like an insecure girlfriend right now, I'd like to think that I have a valid reason to dislike her. To give some backstory, I met Matt and Melissa when we were teenagers working at a summer job. I became very close to the both of them and eventually started falling for Matt. Melissa was aware of this, as we would always discuss it, and she would say how cute she thinks it would be if it worked out. Melissa eventually moved away for college, and Matt and I became official shortly after she left. Whenever we would post on social media, she would be quick to comment and like everything, and whenever she was back in town, we would have dinners with both of their families, and she would always say how happy she is for us. Well, upon recent events, I discovered from several credible sources that she has been saying things about me. She would say stuff like, "Matt can do better, she is so ugly and they just won't last. I bet she's cheating on him." When I told my fiance about this, he cut her off but did not confront her. He said it was for the sake of their parents and siblings to not cause any drama. Now, I was hurt that he didn't stand up for me, but I also chose to respect his wishes and keep it away from everyone else. But when it comes to my wedding, I think I have an excuse to be a little selfish, since it is half about me. Why would I invite someone who secretly spites our relationship? When his mom found out about all of this, she didn't outwardly say that she wanted me to change my mind, but she did try and persuade me by saying, "Oh, just be the bigger person," and show them that her words mean absolutely nothing to you. And she does have a point that Melissa's absence will be noticed by many, and it will raise some questions. I don't want drama and I don't want gossip, but at the same time, it hurts my morals to invite someone just to please others. So am I the jerk for not wanting to invite this lady? Because right now, I really don't know what to do. Oh man, I don't blame you for a second for not wanting to invite this lady to your wedding. She's actively disparaging your relationship with Matt. She's literally saying, "Oh, she's ugly and I bet she's cheating on him." And it's like, what are you talking about? She is clearly upset that you landed Matt while she got left in the dust. So now she's talking badly about you behind your back, and it's like, wait a second, how is this fair? Because think about the alternative here. Why should you have to put up with that garbage at your wedding? Because truly, if I knew that someone was talking badly about my future relationship, and then suddenly they think they're entitled to show up at my wedding, like, I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen for a second. There's no way. So no, you are not the jerk in this situation, because honestly, I would have done the exact same thing. My girlfriend broke up with me because I broke my ankle, as she now views me as less of a man because I broke my ankle, and that she wants her future children to have strong bones, and that she's disappointed in my genetics. And now at this point, I feel completely devastated and I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, to start things out, my girlfriend and I are 19 years old. We've been in a relationship for about a year now, and last week I fell down my stairs and broke my ankle, and my girlfriend was at the top of the stairs witnessing all of this. Actually, this is the first time I've broken a bone or even fallen down a set of stairs. I had my shoes on and I just wasn't paying attention, and trust me, I'm never gonna do that again. However, as soon as I fell, my girlfriend turns around, puts her hands on her head and shook her head and acts disappointed. We went to the hospital to get it checked out, and it turns out I had fractured my ankle at the joint. So right now I'm in crutches and the bone is supposed to heal in about 6 weeks. However, since this happened about a week ago, I noticed my girlfriend increasing her distance from me, talking to me less and all this other stuff. So I asked if everything was okay, and that's when she opened up. She said she doesn't feel safe with me anymore and doesn't see me as a big tough man. She didn't think my bones would break like that, because in her mind I was invincible and I would always be there to protect her, but I can't do that anymore, or it'll be to a less extent. Also, she wants kids who have strong bones, and she's disappointed in my genetics. I honestly don't even know what to do at this point. I'm quite devastated, and I do see her viewpoint, but I really think it's too harsh. And I know that everyone's gonna say that I dodged a train, but apart from that, I really don't know what to do. Oh my god, this is the funniest thing on planet Earth. She really thinks that because you broke your ankle, that somehow means that you're less of a man. I just can't believe that your bones would break like that. I want my kids to have strong bones. It's like, what are you talking about, lady? Anybody can break a bone. Literally anybody. So for her to be like, wow, I need someone with strong bones. I'm sure the original poster has strong bones, just as strong as any other 19-year-old, but falling down a flight of stairs might be one of those scenarios where it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter how strong your bones are, they're probably gonna break. So when you say that you dodged a train, oh, trust me, you absolutely did. If you could run, I would say run from this lady as fast as possible, but since you're on crutches, I would say hobble. You should hobble away from this nut job as fast as possible, because her rationale for breaking up with you is absolutely insane. Not even delusional from a stupid teenager, but just literally crazy talk, because you absolutely deserve way better than this. Am I the jerk for ruining our family dinner after a comment was made by my mom about my smile? Because right now I feel incredibly hurt and I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, so we're currently on a family vacation. It's myself, my husband, the 2 kids, and my parents. Now for a little background, my mother is odd, and my dad has commented as long as I can remember that she and I are like oil and water. I can't even put her oddness completely into words, other than to say that she feels competitive over my father's attention, not even with just me, but also with her grandsons. If my father wants to read them a story or tuck them into bed, she interrupts and tells him it's time for him to go to sleep. It's incredibly cringy to watch. The other pertinent fact is that I have chronic pain. Every avenue has been exhausted. My successful career is gone, but my mother always downplays it, acting like I just have a little headache when she knows that I am never not in pain. In contrast, she is constantly looking for a reason to see a new doctor. Every tiny twinge is the end of the world for her. So tonight we were set to go out for our first family dinner. We get to the lobby, everyone's dressed up, and it's decorated for Christmas, so I'm getting pictures. I finally asked my dad if he would like to take pictures of our family of 4, and as we're posing with our children in front, I see my mother go right up next to my dad and yell out, "Stop that, you need to fix your smile." Now, I honestly think she's talking to one of our boys, so since I can't see their faces, I add in by saying, "Okay, nice smiles, everyone." However, my mom interjects again. She looks at me and says, "No, your smile is horrible. It looks awful." She then imitates me by taking her fingers, puts them on each side of her mouth, and pulls one up and one down while tilting her head. When she did this, I'm honestly baffled, as I really am genuinely smiling. I realize that my smile probably doesn't extend up to my eyes like it used to, and this is the result of being in pain so much, but she's acting like I was doing a goofy face. I go to reset, and she once again yells out, "Stop making that face." Now at this point, I'm angry. I leave the pose, I get the phone from my dad, I pick up my purse, and I start walking towards the restaurant, but apparently she's not done. She then hurries after me and continues to tell me how I need to look at the photos to see how awful my smile was. Well, I did look, and it wasn't that bad. There was nothing wrong with the picture. The fact that she kept going on and on, justifying her actions, it was honestly to the point where I was finally just done. So I stopped walking. I told my husband I'm sorry, but I'm going back to the room, and that he and the kids can go to dinner without me. I was on fire with anger, which then gave way to tears as soon as I was out of her presence. So in her mind, and maybe everyone else's, I'm the one who ruined dinner, and maybe I did. I should be able to just let her words roll off of me, but I feel like such a shell of my former self after everything I've lost to this devouring pain. I mean, now I can't even smile correctly. However, I'm pretty sure I'm being the jerk to the people I love the most, and that makes the whole thing a lot worse. So truly, am I the jerk in this situation? Because right now, I am still deeply hurt. No, your mom sounds obnoxious. First and foremost, if I was in your shoes, I would never go on vacation with her ever again. Like from this point on, I would literally start to distance myself completely and be like, okay, I'm gonna see you like twice a year if that. Because this behavior is so toxic. She was saying that to you on purpose, by the way. I hope you know that, because that really is what I'm picking up here. Like she wanted you to make sure that you knew the one thing that you have in your life to express any kind of joy still looks stupid in her eyes. And for the record, I'm sure your smile looked completely fine. I'm sure there was nothing wrong with it, and she was just being a massive jerk. So no, you didn't ruin anything, and if she really has something to say to you about this situation, then I would personally be completely okay with like letting her know exactly what's up, because from the sounds of it, she's gotten away with this for far too long. And I know if I was in your shoes, I would be standing up for myself much sooner than later. Am I the jerk for refusing to give up my dog for my fiance's allergic daughter after they move in, despite the fact that my fiance knew I had a dog? Because right now, I feel incredibly frustrated, and I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, so I have a golden retriever by the name of Max. He's been with me for 7 years, and he is more than a pet. He is my family. My fiance, who we will call Tim, recently moved in with his 9-year-old daughter, who we will call Emily. Now, Emily is severely allergic to dogs. Not the kind where she just takes Benadryl and she's fine, but she's the kind where she will break out into hives and have serious breathing issues. Now, here's the important fact of this story. Tim knew that I had Max from the start, and when we were dating, he swore it wouldn't be a problem because they didn't live with me. But now that they're moved in, it is a constant issue. Emily's allergy flares up every time she's here, and now Tim is demanding that I rehome Max for her safety. Now, I've suggested every compromise I can think of, keeping Max out of her room, constant deep cleaning, investing in air purifiers, even boarding Max part-time when Emily is over, but none of it is good enough. Tim says that I need to put Emily first and get rid of Max completely. He also made it clear that if I don't, he might need to rethink the wedding. Well, I told him flat out that I'm not rehoming Max. I love Tim and Emily, but Max is family, and I'm not dumping him like an old piece of furniture. Tim says I'm selfish and not ready to be a stepmom. His family's also piled on, saying that I'm prioritizing a dog over a child, and now I'm the villain of the week. My friends are split. Some of them agree with me, and others think I'm being heartless. So seriously, am I at fault in this situation? Because right now, I really don't know what to do. Oh man, I do not think you're the jerk at all, and the fact that Tim's trying to be like, you need to get rid of your dog like right now. That is insane. This literally should have been a deal breaker from the start. If he really knew that his daughter had this kind of allergy, he would not have even entertained having a relationship with you, which really leads me to believe that no, he had no idea. He is not nearly informed about Emily's healthcare, and he probably only got concerned about this as soon as Emily was like, oh yeah, I can't breathe. It's like, what are you doing? This is literally Tim's fault. And to make matters worse, he literally lied to the original poster, saying stuff like, oh, I would never make you get rid of Max. But here we are moving into the house and he's like, oh yeah, you gotta get rid of Max. Like, this is all on Tim's shoulders in my opinion, and no one can tell me otherwise. So truly, I'm so sorry this happened to you, but also you definitely are not the jerk, because the way Tim is acting, in my opinion, is completely unacceptable. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist at the top of the description. And if you want some chill music to put on in the background, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, subscribe to Am I the Genius. Everything will be linked down below in the description.